we're going to put a timer on this one. So, 2 minutes. And we may have follow-up. And it's a one-word question, or one-word topic. Riverwalk.
Important. Needs to get off the ground, and needs to get off the ground now.
Sorry, you want
Riverwalk. Just what? Yeah.
one?
No. I'm not asking for one word. I'm just asking for my one word was Riverwalk. So perhaps I should allow Mr. Green to expand his answer. It's important. That's okay. All right.
Well, the one word that comes to mind when I hear Riverwalk is sellout. Riverwalk into Port Orange taxpayer interests are being sold out in Riverwalk. Make no mistake about it. In the last 2 weeks, a series of secret meetings took place between the mayor and council and the LaCour Group. And the LaCour Group was given everything they have asked for. Riverwalk is a tragedy. It is the last large tract of land on the river, and every inch of it should be acquired by the city for future use, future residents and their parkland needs. We all know what's going on here. By one incremental decision after another incremental decision, we have given the LaCour Group everything they have asked for in the way of concessions. And I will ask you here tonight, tell me, give me back one concession that's come from LaCour to the taxpayers. And I don't think anybody is going to be able to take me up on that offer. And then I'll ask you another question. Who has been negotiating on taxpayers' behalf? That's a fair question. It's been asked at council, and when it's asked at council, I get scowled at by the mayor. What a horrible question to ask. But it's a fair question. Who is negotiating on behalf of the taxpayers? The answer is no one. At the last LaCour presentation, towards the end of it, the civil engineer got up and said, you know, we didn't put on a presentation here tonight. They didn't. The attorney, the city attorney, and the city manager put on LaCour's presentation. I hope LaCour paid their salary that week. He should have. So the word that comes to mind is sellout, and I would very much like to see this nipped in its buds. If anyone was negotiating on our behalf, the focal point of the park would be the point, the old Sweetwater location. As it, okay, thank you.
Somebody must have been at a different meeting when we didn't give Mr. LaCour exactly what he wanted. Riverwalk is so many more things than just whatever LaCour wants to build there as far as a restaurant or condos. And that's part of the reason why we're moving forward. We're done waiting on him. It's part of the reason why we're moving forward. We've already opened Phase 1A of the Riverwalk Park. We're working on Phase 1B now. Those bids are about to go out. That's about to go out for bid. And the reason why we're doing that is we're not going to stand there. We own a very large tract of land there, and we're going to develop that into a very nice park, which was the elements of which were decided by citizen input at a meeting which 200 citizens showed up and told us what we wanted. So as far as that's concerned, we're moving forward whether he's ready to build or not. I've been on council and have heard him say, yeah, I'm ready to build a restaurant, I'm ready to build a building, and I'm waiting on him. The problem is from a financial standpoint, would I have done what was done in the past? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, and it's easy for me to say I wouldn't have done things the way that was done in the past, the way land was acquired and the way land was moved around. But we are what we are. We have some debt on some of the land that we have, and unless we have improvements come out of the ground that generate revenue, we're going to continue to be paying the debt. And the thing is that we can't just do that in perpetuity. That CRA is going to sunset in roughly 20 years.
CRA?
The Riverwalk Town Center CRA is going to sunset. And every year during those 20 years where we have nothing developed, which we receive extra revenue from, to settle those debts is a lost year. The other thing is that without that revenue, improvements on the south side can't happen. So we got to move it forward.
Okay, you may have answered this question, but this one is addressed to you, Mr. Nassau. Do you believe the now proposed property exchange for Riverwalk should be open for vote by the taxpayers.
You notice in my previous answer, I referenced secret meetings, and I asked who was negotiating on behalf of taxpayers. And the gentleman that followed me elected not to answer that. He just elected to give us some old smoke and mirrors like we've gotten here before. Got to get going, got to get this, blah, 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 blah. I think that the taxpayer assets need to be more properly protected in this town. And if council cannot do that, then perhaps that does need to go to the people as a vote. So I would not be opposed to that, given how poorly councils have protected the taxpayers' interest in that Riverwalk investment. But the big thing here, guys, don't lose sight of it, is that we are going to lose that site. And when it's gone, it is gone forever. Every inch of that 29 acres should be acquired by the city and held in perpetuity. And let's let the next generation build the park if need be. If we don't have the funds to do it, let's just acquire it and pass it on to the next generation.
All right, this is a continued follow-up on that, and we'll invoke our timer once again for 2 minutes. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you shed light on the land deal where the current mayor has given or deeded city land that belongs to the citizens to developer LaCour?
Again, I'm not involved in that particular process. I do know that the Riverwalk is a joint venture type of project, same as what we had at Cypress Heads Golf Course. Cypress Heads Golf Course, as an example, was one of the first joint ventures between the city and a developer. And we developed a golf course and we developed beautiful homes out on it, and overall as a whole, the tax base that's generated from all the homes in the area have done very well for it. As far as these land deals down here, I'm not exactly, without doing my homework, I can't answer to all the questions. I will tell you that I would do my homework and to be able to provide a better answer, but I do know that it's a joint venture type of deal. There is going to be some give and take to be able to move the project forward, and that's without doing some more homework. That's all I can say to that.
Okay, go ahead. I think you made yourself pretty clear where you stand with that, but if you...
Well, let's get to the bottom of it. Let's get to the bottom of it. Have secret meetings taken place in the last 2 weeks? Has the deal already been brokered? Is this coming back before council as a show trial of sorts where we're going to pretend it's all going to be negotiated in public? That's the real question. That's what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Council and the mayor have met with LaCour and his group, and the deal has been done. LaCour is going to get the road, and he promises to maintain it. He's going to get the funeral home, and in return, we're going to get an easement back on the home, on the road. And then we are just going to restore commercial rights to the point for nothing. Now, the deal that was just brokered is LaCour is going to let us keep that little portion of the road. We're not going to get that whole easement. We're going to keep it. Now, isn't that nice of LaCour? He's going to let us keep what we already own. This is a sellout that has been from the beginning. Answer the question. Who's ever negotiated on the taxpayers' behalf? Every silly proposal LaCour has brought forward on that block of land has been adopted by council like it was manna from heaven. And that is wrong, and that needs to change. I hope this becomes the focal point of the election, the willingness of the current council to go along with LaCour. To answer your specific question, though, I'm not aware that there's been any actual deed over to LaCour at this point. It's all coming in one big rush, but I'm not aware of any that has actually happened. Thank you.
I tell you what, since none of this has actually happened yet, we haven't swapped any land anywhere. It's kind of hard to say that what will or will not happen. Have I met with Mr. LaCour and has he told me what he'd like to do? Yeah. You know what? I've met with a lot of people. You want to call it a secret meeting? That's fine. But I tell you what, somebody defined in a blog what they would do to avoid a secret meeting, and that would be to keep the door open. Anybody wanting to wander in could. pretty much how I do it. I've met with citizens at City Hall on individual issues. So if anybody wants to wander in during those meetings, they can. I am not going to not meet with people that are willing to give me information most of the time unless I think it's going to be a waste of my time. So you could sit here and have long meeting after long meeting after long meeting imparting some of that information. I need to learn and have good information to make good decisions. Tell you what, I was not a fan of the original Loman's Funeral Home purchase. City paid $800,000 to get it. They'll never get it back. There's no way. That property is maybe worth an eighth of that. But to get that back would be like saying, I'm going to charge, I blew it and blew my investment on my house that I paid $500,000 for, even though it's worth $250,000 now, I'm going to expect somebody to pay $500,000 for it. It doesn't happen. It's not realistic. I want to deal in real terms on how to solve the problems with Riverwalk. That investment will allow things to happen and blossom all the way up and down this corridor. So it's important that we do something there. I'm not going to get, I may want to be able to do something and allow some things. Sometimes you lose the battle to win the war. Whatever's happened in the past is the past. He's still not built anything down there. And he's, you know, and as far as I'm concerned, he's concerned, seeing is believing. But I need to see something because this whole corridor will benefit from what happens down there.